So, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about today is actually something that I did make a video about just recently with my dogs about getting a pet, dog, cat, whatever it may be, without really committing to them. Sometimes we want something and they're cute and they're fluffy and they're, playful. And then you get them home, and after a month, the cuteness wears off and the work really sets in. The responsibilities of walking or taking the dog out and feeding them and cleaning up after them, um, and worrying about when to come home and, feed them, get on their schedule. So those are the things that, you really have to think about when you're going to get a pet, is that you really need to be there for them. Not all the time, but, their feeding time and um, as much as you need companionship, they do as well. So, go out in the backyard and throw a ball or take them for a walk. Um, there's a lot of cleanup. They do make messes. Sometimes they chew up something that you don't want them to chew up. Um, they get an upset stomach and mess up your rug. Those things are going to happen. So to get rid of a dog because they're ruining something of yours, or you have to give them time and train them as best as you can. My dogs are quite spoiled, but I'm okay with it. They haven't done anything that makes me need to get rid of them. If they were aggressive and bit everybody, then it would be a different story. So that's one of the things that you have to consider, as well as the cost of a vet, taking them to the vet. Um, Easily today runs up $1,000. I mean, just for a simple office visit, it may run you about $200. Maybe even more. But if you go there for something that's you're concerned about for your pet, and throw in some blood work and ultrasound or whatever it be, you're talking, you know into the thousands. Stay overnight, a respiratory, anyway, just please, especially around holidays like Easter or Christmas, it seems like everybody wants to get their child a pet, and that's great. If you're ready for a family pet, then that's the time. But just know that that comes with responsibility. And you know, to me, my pets are like my family. They're my kids. Um, you're not going to you're not going to rehome your kids. I mean, unless you're in an environment that you can't even sustain for yourself, then that would be a reason to rehome your pet. But to go all in just to lose that spark of having a pet a month or two later, I really disagree with that. As far as caring for the pet and making sure that they're safe, please, please, I see this all the time. People don't realize that pets can't have the same things that humans could have. Grapes are one big thing that I really worry about when I have them in my house. I make sure that nothing drops on the floor, even when I'm cooking. If I'm cutting up an onion or a garlic, even the shell of it, my dog's always behind the counter. I'm just looking around the floor to see what I might have dropped. And if I dropped a little piece of, paper from the garlic, it, you know, garlic and onion are like poison to them, just like chocolate is. And there's so many other things, that I don't necessarily offhand know, but if there's anything I'm not positive about to give to them, I make sure I look it up. Same as medications. I know the couple of medications that I could give them that are human, just because I've gotten the go ahead from my veterinarian. But if you're not sure, please just, give your vet a call, or, consult with someone who's given their pet many different medications. Maybe,
Okay, I'm back, and this time with company. Hi, Miley. You gonna help me talk about taking a car ride with your little one? So when you take a car ride with your little one, you should really strap them in. Mine, I have like a little booster seat now so they can look out the window. I think they get more nervous when they're not strapped in and able to see outside. Right, Miley? You like to see what's going on. Otherwise, you get nervous where you're going. Another thing when bring your dogs for a ride somewhere is if you're going to stop at a store, say, please don't leave us in a car that's hot. If it's a warm day, please just be careful of the temperature outside and leaving your dogs in a car, even with the windows down a little bit, thinking they're going to get some air. You could really, it could really heat up quite fast. So if you're thinking about it, what I suggest you do is, bring your dog somewhere or even just sit in your car for like 10 minutes with your window part of the way down, like you would if you were to leave the dog in the car, and see how it feels. If it's getting uncomfortable for you, this is what you're leaving your dogs in, and they really would rather not be there. They want to go for a ride. They didn't want to get left alone in a hot car. And same for a cold car. When it's too cold for them, it's not fun for them anymore. So just to be mindful of that. Also, I just wanted to talk to you about taking your dogs for walks. Please pick up after your dogs. That's part of dog ownership, is just picking up after them, feeding them. It's just part of that, what I'm talking about with committing to getting a dog. Take a walk and see droppings from other dogs. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine that other people don't pick up after their dog. I don't know what they think is going to happen. It's just going to wash away. And how long is that going to take? So I will pick up after a dog if I see it there and I have a bag with me. But it's just common courtesy and part, like I said, of owning a dog and keep them after them. And just remember they are part of your family and they're not something that's disposable. So, if you want to give your young kids or whoever a gift of a puppy for a holiday or whatever, birthday, that it's not something that after a couple months, if it doesn't work out, you know, we'll just get rid of them. I understand there's circumstances where you need to rehome a dog, but I think giving them a chance first before rehoming them, unless you're in a situation, that you can't even take care of yourself, or it's just extenuating circumstances. I understand those things. There's too many people that get rid of their dogs, or even I noticed here where I'm living, not in my community, but in my town. Since I moved here, I noticed there's so many dogs that are abandoned. It's so sad. It's I wish I could take them all in. If I won the lottery, I would. Because who wants to be left outside to find food and to be attacked or who knows what? I can never understand that. I'd rather see, I don't know. Just, I don't know what the answer is. Part of it though is don't commit to a dog unless you are willing to make that commitment. So they bring so much love to your life and happiness. They're such good companions. I just can't imagine life without them. So just something to consider. And this is the end of my little guidance or chastising or whatever you you might want to call it. But just think about it before you do jump in and buy a dog or any other pet for that matter.